I've considered adding a Seiko Alpinist to my collection for a long time, and I've actually owned 2 different versions, but this one was an exciting release. And does it fit that bill? And the price, we'll talk about that. So straight out of the box, the Seiko Alpinist SPB 379 strikes a similar aesthetic to many other GMT watches out there. It takes the steel bezel aesthetic that Seiko has been using through Grand Seiko, that Rolex started with their Explorer models, and adds that to the classic Seiko Alpinist design. The Alpinist is known for its rotatable compass bezel on the interior here and has a deep history for being a consistent model in Seiko's lineup since 1959 with the Seiko Laurel Alpinist. And this watch hit massive popularity with the SARB 017 because of its quirky green dial, its gold indices, and its great pricing. Not to mention the fact that it has 200 meters of water resistance, even the fact that it looks like a field watch. See, value in the design is why the Seiko Alpinist originally became popular. Also, quick shout out to Exquisite Timepieces in Naples, Florida. Ethan and the team down there has been kind enough to ship this up to me to do this review. There's no transfer of money. They've just been great in lending me watches when I need to review them. So if you're in the Naples, Florida area, or if you're browsing online, check out Exquisite Timepieces for your next watch. Now the model's specs, it's a 39.5 millimeter stainless steel design. It strikes a good balance between robustness and wearability. It's 13.6 millimeters thick. It's 46.4 millimeters lug to lug, which is pretty compact given the overall size, and it has 20 millimeter lug width. This one here is on their leather strap, but you can also buy it in a bracelet for a little more money. It has a rotating bezel, applied indices at 12, 3, 6, and 9. Obviously the date complication, a GMT complication, and a compass complication. Now, the date complication some people may like and some people may not like. I think it's more practical than it is a pure design, but I prefer that practicality and I like having a date when I can. Most people don't like it at that location, but they made it really small and not really noticeable. It's not the best look, but as I said, I prefer the practicality. This has the same cathedral style hands, the same minute track, the same seconds hand, and then obviously the addition of the GMT hour hand. It has a red accent at the GMT, at the compass north mark, and also on the GMT hand itself, which I think blend together really well. That sort of tri-color there, or at least that accent in 3 locations versus 1 or 2 locations, I think actually gives it a better symmetry than you'd find from a lot of different dials. And I really like that accent over this black canvas. Now you can also buy this in multiple other colors, but I think the black is classic and most of my watches have a black dial, so I prefer it with the black dial here. This is part of their Prospects lines, so it does have the X underneath the Seiko logo, which I don't love, but at least it helps me in classifying the models of Seiko's catalog, which sometimes can be really confusing. Now, the way the compass works real quick is you set the time to your time zone, not adjusting for daylight savings time. You align the hour hand to the sun, and then basically wherever you're looking that's halfway between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock indicator is due north. And that gives you the idea of where north, south, east, and west are in relation to you. You also, at that point, could just use the sun. That's a lot easier, in my opinion, than using this, because every time you turn around, you're gonna have to reorient yourself with the hour hand and the sun. But you know, if you do plan on using the compass, you're gonna need to be by the sun a lot, which is why today's review is sponsored by Tiege Hanley. I recently went on a trip to New York and I brought with me a few things in my kit that I thought were important, and one of those was this AM lotion from Tiege Hanley. See, Tiege Hanley is uncomplicated skincare for men because I can't remember most things these days longer than about 10 minutes. Their pre-made packages allow you to simply pick a level of care and receive boxes each month without thinking about whether you need to reorder it or what you need to be putting on your face. It allows me to not think about it in the morning, which gives me more time to choose which watch I want to wear in the morning, which takes me a while. You see, my wife is younger than me, so I have to try to stay young. Their level 3 package is shown here. It comes with a scrub, an AM lotion with SPF in it, a PM lotion, an eye serum, and a few other things. So you choose which level works for you on their easy to use website, and the link is actually in the description below. Plus, if you sign up with my link, you'll get your first box 40% off, plus a free gift, and 20% off for life. So a lot of things there. If you're interested, check out Tiege Hanley with the link in the description below. Now inside each travel watch is a travel movement. At the heart of this SPB 379 lies the Seiko SR54 automatic movement, which essentially is the SR35, but with a GMT complication added onto it. The power reserve is approximately 70 hours. This is a desk GMT where you rotate the GMT hand independently rather than the hour hand independently. So that is something you do need to note. The Seiko Alpinist GMT comes with a high quality leather strap with a deployant clasp. That being said, the strap is a little stiff, which we'll get into here in the pros and cons. Now, the biggest pro on the Alpinist is the applied indices, the handset. The GMT complication has been added, which I think is a nice benefit for a lot of people that like that look and like the function. It's got 200 meters of water resistance in a field watch style design. It's got these really cool overarched lugs, which I think really hug the wrist well and make it really nice to wear. It also has this nice polish on the side, nice curved polish around the side of each case. It has a compact lug to lug, and it has the 70-hour power reserve, plus this version of the watch is made in Japan. All of these are hallmarks of what you kind of expect from the Seiko Alpinist line. There's very little here in terms of pros that differentiates this from the standard Alpinist or even the SARB 017 that was popular years ago. I think all of that is why this is still a very exciting and interesting watch to most watch enthusiasts. But the downside to looking so similar to something like the SARB 017 is the fact that that watch sold at like $350 to $400 a few years ago. And the stark difference in price from that to this is why I think this is probably not going to be my recommendation for you. The other cons in my mind, before we get back to the price, would be the fact that this strap, it's a little bit more supple than what I've expected on standard straps from Seiko. It's a padded leather strap. It seems pretty nice. I mean, there's not anything too crazy here. It is padded, and I don't know if that's gonna fit a lot of people's choice in terms of their leather strap. The date window at the random location of 4:30 is not my favorite. The fact that it's just a cutout circle, I feel like feels really rushed and hurried. I would prefer at least a square. You know, those diagonal squared cutouts, I think look a little bit better than just a random circle in the middle of the dial. But again, the biggest reason why I think this is a tough sell for most people is the fact that this watch is priced at $1,150. Now, if you adjust for inflation, you know, because we've had a lot of rapid inflation over the last few years, if you adjust for inflation of $400 just a few years ago, this should cost about $600. The fact that it's now $1,150, I think is honestly insane. Now I get it, you know, you want to push upstream, you want to price it higher, and your dealer's probably going to give you a discount on the watch. I highly doubt any of these are actually selling for $1,150, and maybe they are. But with the fact that there's a lot of affordable traveler style GMTs, which people seem to prefer, myself included, where you can set the hour hand independently versus the GMT hand independently, a lot of those watches are priced under $1,000. So to have all those options under $1,000, or you could buy the Alpinist, I think the brand name here of Seiko and it being the Alpinist is trying to do a lot of the heavy lifting here in terms of the pricing. I don't think this watch, to me, is worth $1,150. Even if you added a discount on it, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around charging anyone even over $750, maybe $800 for an Alpinist. It doesn't make sense to me at the moment. That isn't what this model line is known for, and I don't think that the design even feels that level of price. I'd rather buy a Zin or an Oris or a Longines for that amount of money. That makes more sense to me. Or even, you know, old vintage designed watches that you can buy at an even better price. See, this Seiko Alpinist SBB 379 is a great iteration of a popular design. It honors Seiko's rich heritage while embracing modern advancements. It makes it a versatile piece that fits seamlessly into any watch collection. Now, that being said, despite all its positives, for me, it's just too expensive. But if you think it's worth it, then you should go get it and you should enjoy it. But what do you guys think about the Seiko Alpinist? Till the next time, peace.